Zato has a lot of really good changes to him in this patch, starting with the Eddie life gauge itself. Previously, if the opponent chose the gold burst and it hit Eddie, you were set on the full cooldown duration, so this could be a genuine strategy just to keep Zato from snowballing the game. Now, if Eddie is hit by a gold burst, the regeneration starts from wherever it was on the life gauge, significantly nerfing this bit of counterplay. Additionally, the Eddie life gauge regenerates faster. Arc System Works said that it is about 1.7 seconds faster to regenerate back to full. Oppose is now 1 frame faster, which could open up some new combo routing for him, but more importantly, I think, is the blowback adjustment. Previously, it sent the opponent full screen. Now they're pretty close, making it easier for Zato to pick up combos. There is also the most important change to him, which is his new move. He finally has it. It is Float. You do core circle back punch, and then you make Eddie like this little floating thing, and then by pressing different buttons, you can throw Eddie out at different projectiles, or trajectories, I should say. So they're not really interactable. As you can see, they don't hit the opponent, but this does allow Zato to have some neutral control for safely sending Eddie out and then trying to create a sandwich between Eddie and the opponent. And I imagine that there's going to be a lot of new applications for this, but this should be a very strong buff for Zato's neutral once players get used to it. Additionally, Drunkard Shade has a big buff, where previously some projectiles that couldn't be reflected just completely tore through Drunkard Shade, but now it has projectile invincibility, so even against projectiles he can't reflect, it has plenty of utility. This may very well be the patch that Zato returns to competitive play as a strong character. There were a few breakout performances with him in the previous overarching patches, but he was still a character that was quite weak. Someone who's been power crept with all the changes that have happened to Guilty Gear Strive over the years. But now it feels like he's at full power and he's got some new tools to play with as well, finally. Float has a lot of interesting applications for how you could use it to approach neutral, to be like an anti-zoner tool, right? So then you don't have to worry about Zato's Eddie, that is, getting clipped by a projectile from the opponent. Instead, you can throw it out there, create a sandwich wherever you want to. That's pretty powerful, I would say, in general. Drunkard Shade being able to have usage in all matchups that zoners are going to be in is also a very nice boon for Zato, just to deal with being chipped or poked out by some of those zoning style of characters. So that's a really cool change to him as well. And of course, the Eddie life gauge coming back faster means he's able to run offense more frequently. He doesn't have as much downtime in his power spikes anymore. And of course, Oppose might have some new utility that I wasn't able to show off here. Haven't been able to find anything on Twitter just yet. But genuinely, I think Zato was always pretty decently strong when it came to his mix-up game, but his neutral was where he was weak, and the fact that so many of the top-tier characters were also quite oppressive against him. But now, with many of those top-tier characters being nerfed, and Zato getting these buffs, he might actually be in a really healthy and strong spot next patch, and I'm excited to see if any Zato players who dropped the character previously to move on to greener pastures will return to see what they can do with him now.